Hi there everybody, it's Gus the Hut here. Today I'm going to be bringing you a short tutorial on how to quickly paint ruins. Mostly the plastic ones that you can buy from various sources, Games Workshop ones, and from other places as well. I'll just get to a nice, simple... Yeah. Just a nice finished effect that can be done in a very, very short space of time with very few resources and materials. Now, I'm going to start off with just showing you how to do the paint job, the basing. I'll probably do a different tutorial on how to do that, but it's pretty simple. So, yeah, let's get on with the painting. So here I am with my ready to go piece. This has been primed. Now the primer that I've used for this is this. I got this from a pound shop. It is auto body spray, so used for cars. Just use the grey primer that they have. You can probably get an equivalent from places like Halfords if you can't find it in your pound shop. But yeah, a pound a can, 300ml. A spray. It is very cost effective. Handy little tip there. So this is my pre-sprayed piece, already detailed on the base. Like I said a moment ago, I'll do a separate tutorial on how to do that, but it's pretty simple and effective. So yeah, you got your plastic terrain scenery, and you start off with your base coat, and then what I'm going to be using here, I don't know if you can see that there. Might need to. Make sure we got the right light here. Make sure the lighting is all good. So yeah, I'm going to be starting off with a lightish grey. I'm going to use the Citadel Layer Administratum Grey first of all, and give it a good shake up. You want a fairly stiff bristle brush, a nice big flat one. We're going to be mostly just doing dry brushing to just get a nice simple effect. And for dry brushing, it's always best for you to use it straight out of the pot, I find. So just a little bit on the end of your brush. Make sure you got your brush well loaded up. Now don't get your brush too dry here. You don't want it too dry. You want to put on a nice, decent, thick layer. So just want to be nice big strokes right the way across. And you can already see that it's sort of picking up the larger flat areas and that, and it's automatically giving you some depth and shade in the creases. So the nice thing with this primer and that, it comes out quite dark, so you don't need to use anything like a wash or anything to darken it down. It just goes straight on with the dry brush over the top, and it gives you a really nice little effect. So you just do that all over. It doesn't matter if you go a bit too heavy in places like that, because we're going over it with another layer above, which will just add different layers of depth and shade. Might look like the light's catching that a bit better, so it doesn't really matter too much. You can be really sort of haphazard with this technique. You don't need to be too careful, so just sort of go over here, light brushing. You see now, I've based this with different textures of sand and gravel and that. You can just see. So yeah, you can just kind of see all the detail of the gravel there, just being picked up, and the sand is picks it up very nicely as we sort of go over with our dry brush. Just get a nice thin layer all the way across. I'll just quickly do this other side. Make sure we're getting all the flat areas where it's going to catch. I'm just creating already starting to give it a nice bit of depth. Now you can, if you're happy with this, you can just leave it at this stage. No harm in doing that. But I like to give it a little bit further depth. So as soon as I've just done this little wall, you can quickly go across the tops. Try to get down those gaps there. Okay, it's giving it a good coating all over. Make sure to get all these broken wall edges and that, because any sort of broken stone, it will pick up the edges of that quite nicely. So there we go. So that's basic. That's a basic stone effect we've got there now. Now, what we do is we clean our brush off. Maintenance of your brushes is a vital part of the hobby. Look after your brushes. And a good example of not looking after your brushes. This is the same brush that I'm using, and I kind of got a bit haphazard with my early works, and you can see I use this quite vigorously on a lot of dry brush projects and that, and until I got the technique down, this was what was happening to my brushes. So proper maintenance of your tools is essential. So we're not going to give it a full clean just now, because we're going to be using another colour of paint. Now, going straight in for white. So this is Citadel Layer White Scar, just their basic white paint. So once again, give it up a good shake. And we're just going to be doing the exact same thing. This time we'll be getting our brush a little bit lighter. Sorry, a little bit drier. So a little bit lighter of a coat. So now I've just cleaned my brush, so it's a little bit damp, so it'll take a few little dabs and dry outs before it will be of the sufficient level of dryness. Otherwise you'll just have something that looks like it's got a white smear all the way across it, and we don't want that. So yeah, there we go. I think that's good enough. So now what we're going to do is just lightly, I'm just going to flick our brush across with the white, and the white will just sort of pick up all the little edges. Like I say, you don't want to go too heavy on this, because you'll just be completely covering over the grey that you've already done, and you want to leave that grey on the larger flat areas, and that will just give you that multiple layers of depth. Give it a good flick all over, especially on the gravel, because on the gravel it really shows up. So just you want to go really very lightly. And the rougher the area, the better it will be. So it will tend to stick less to the flatter areas, and the more rougher areas will have that extra highlight that the more dull flat areas won't. And just sort of just kind of a self-handicapping system, really, of highlighting. A lot of people poo-poo the whole dry brush technique, but I've come to rely on it quite heavily over the years, and I think in the right circumstances it works quite well, this being one of them. And a technique that I tend to use quite often with a lot of my basic models is I will tend to what I call pre-highlighting, and I'll do another video about it, but basically it's your black undercoat that you generally put on a lot of your models and that. And what I generally tend to do is I either tend to do a white or a very light grey dry brush over the whole model. It generally serves two functions. It serves to highlight details on the model and makes it a little bit easier for you to plan out how you're going to paint the thing. But also as well, if there's any areas on it and that you just want black in, or that you don't want to paint, say a pair of black boots or belt straps or things like that, once you've done your undercoat and your dry brush, you can just leave them. You just don't have to do anything else to them. You can paint around them and then give it a wash or whatever you like, but it's just a nice, quick, easy way of just doing those little highlight details that otherwise you'd have to go around and do edge highlighting, and edge highlighting is probably a technique that I hate the most. I've used it and to great effect on some models, but I just don't like doing it. And any shortcut that I can find to get around not having to do it, then I'll take that out. There we go. So we're just finishing that off. There we go. Just quick down the edges. And that's your finished ruin. It's got a lovely bit of depth and texture to it. And yeah, you can place your models down and they'll look quite good. There's a rusty tank that I did. Parked up behind. So yeah, that's it. And that is how to quickly, with no more than two pots of paint and a can of spray from a pound shop, can make very good looking scenery. So yeah, if you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, let them know, and yeah, hopefully I'll be bringing you a lot more of these videos. Yeah, goodbye for now.